Hi, so let's talk about 5 myths of Freeport and things that in the 23 years that I've been here, I hear these things regularly. First of all, people say there's nothing to do. So part of that, we started a Facebook group called What to Do in Freeport and Stevenson County because there are always things going on. And I'm going to list just a few of the things, but there are so many other things all the time going on in the community. Music on Chicago, Wine Fest, Brew Fest, Cruise Night, outdoor movies, music in the park, theater in the park, completely modernized movie theater. So there's great seating and a lot of options there. We've got a bowling alley. There's parks, and more parks. Crate Park has mini putt and has a merry-go-round and has tons of gyms. Gymnasium type of equipment, and crawling and climbing and things like that. There's Yellow Creek, so you can paddle, you can kayak, you can rent little boats, you can go down the creek and do some climbing and things like that. There's some caves and things like that down the creek. So just so many different parks. Great swimming park, skate park, there's basketball, ice skating, just again, so many different things. Bicycle path and trails. So there's paths that connect into Winnebago County, up into Wisconsin and all around. So you can take paths whether you're hiking or want to bicycle. Shops in downtown, boutiques. There's some great small shops that are family-owned, local shops that have really filled niches and have unique product and offer all kinds of different variety of services. And then of course you have your traditional retail type of things. So that's just a little snippet of a few things that are offered, but there's, like I said, just so many different things, different organizations always doing different events, different nonprofits, different churches and religious groups, different like the art museum and the historical society and the train museum, always doing different events and bringing in special things out there so that you can come and visit and take a look at those properties as well. Stevenson County also has several different lakes in the area, so there's a lot of recreational things as well if you want to get out to the lake and boat and fish and hike and do those kind of things. ATV trails, equestrian trails. I could go on and on and on. I'll stop. Anyway, the other thing I've always had from people is no diversity. They think that it's rural America and there's just no one here besides just, old farmers or something like that. And there's so much diversity because we are so blessed with so many different large corporations here who have brought people here from all over the country and all over the world. So I've had so many different ethnicities, so many different religious options, not only to places to go and also different groups and clubs and organizations and things, ton of different women's networks, ton of different ethnicities, like I said, ton of different religious options as well. So such a diverse population that I see, and all different financial diversity as well. So that also brings in a lot of diversity into the area. People say no jobs. First, I'm a true believer that there are always good jobs out there for good people. There's always companies looking for good people. And so even when our unemployment has been higher historically over the years, I've seen, still people moving to town and people coming into the area getting good jobs. But then I've also, of course, right now with a lot of places hiring, that there are so many different options, whether it's the medical field, the technical trades, the service industry. So, and there's a great staffing company that was started right here in Freeport and locally owned and has grown to a huge staffing company offering all kinds of different job opportunities for people. So there are so many different large companies, and we'll have a separate video later on talking about some of these large employers, but there are so many huge company, large names that, are nationwide and worldwide and all over the country that really also offer a lot of different things. So it offers a lot of growth. I have some friends and clients who started off with a company and they got their bachelor's degree and moved up in the company, got their master's degree, moved up in the company. And many times the company will help with those kind of things. And so just a lot of different options in jobs to, like I said, get into a company and then grow with that company and move around with that company as well. So school district, schools and the report cards and the grades on our school district. I've had many clients and many people go through the school district, and I'm a firm believer that you get what you put into it. And I think that, we've really come into a generation of really needing to be more involved in our children's school, just because of some of the different things the teachers have to teach and some of the restrictions they have and some of the different options that are out there. So I really believe that, talking to some other people who have had their kids go through the school district and really talk about how that has helped them actually coming into a school district whose report card might look like it's a little tougher situation, but then when you actually talk to a lot of the people who have had kids go through the school, how that has actually helped them in applying for college and applying for different scholarships and different things like that. Our community college in town also works so much with people to make sure that we are making sure people are college ready, start taking classes during high school, doing different trade programs so that there are different options for people if they don't want to go to a four-year college. So offering a lot of different options and a lot of different advanced classes. So a lot of our smaller rural schools don't offer a lot of the AP and the advanced classes and the things to really help a child on their college application and in their resumes for the future, really going forward, where the Freeport School District really does. So I've had some friends who even taught and had their kids in smaller school districts and then brought their kids into Freeport because they needed to have those different options for their kids' college applications and to really help them there. So I really think, you might see those report cards. I also will say that I know the school is always working on improving and really aware of their role in the community and making sure that people are, getting the best out of their school district and getting the best out of their tax dollars, because so much of our tax dollars go towards that school district. So then one of the other things people always ask about crime, and I really, again, every city has crime. Who doesn't? Even your small 1,000 population cities, have crime. It's a matter of, where and the seriousness, the violent crime, the domestic violence, what are we seeing? Of course, that goes up and down in different times and economic times and things like that. That changes. So that's something that I say, it's always good to look at those stats, talk to different community people, talk to the police department, talk to the sheriff's department, look at some of those reports and things like that to give you. But also a trend that I've been seeing is that we're seeing more and more neighborhoods going to more owner occupants. And the more owner occupants you have in a neighborhood, the better that neighborhood's going to be. The more that one person or that whole group of people start standing up and saying, hey, I'm not going to let you not take care of your community and not take care of this neighborhood and let that property go to trash. And whether they're contacting the landlords or whether they're contacting those tenants, and both many times, and just saying, hey, we're expecting you to keep this property up a little bit more. It's a snowball effect. One person improves their property and their neighbor improves their property, and then the next neighbor, and on and down the road. And so as we see prices have gone up in the community and in the area, then we're seeing more people going into owner occupants because those rental prices have gone up enough that people are saying, why would I want to rent? And when I can buy, and then when they come in and buy, they take care of their home so much more. We're also seeing some different community groups doing education on being a first-time home buyer and helping people learn what they need to do to become a homeowner, and not only financially, but then in the future, how are they going to take care of that home? What do they need to do when they become a homeowner? And what does a home require? Because if you've never owned a home before, you're not used to, trimming the bushes, and you're not used to changing the furnace filter. You're not used to checking on the skylight or the chimney and making sure that those things are caulked and tuck pointed and that kind of stuff. So really, helping to educate a buyer on what it means to be a homeowner and what they would be on the lookout for. And also when buyers are doing their home inspection, that home inspector that we work with a lot gives them a checklist and says, look, these are your checklist items of things that you're going to want to work on in the future and things that you're going to want to, know to prepare for. So I hope that helps answer some questions. If you have other myths that you've heard or other things that you would suggest that we bring up in a talk like this and really help improve our community. Over the 23 years, gosh, more than that now that I've lived here, people that come into this community really, really love it and really believe that there's just so many things to offer, so many different great things, from our architecture, because we have homes built back in the 1800s to homes built in the 2000s. So we have such a diverse population of homes and options for people, sizes and character and things like that, that, a lot of people will come in from out of the area and say, they never would have imagined being able to own this, Tudor home or this old, Frank Lloyd Wright type of looking home, and then some of the modern homes and some of the, tri-levels and quad levels and just, like I said, so much diversity. We don't have any of that cookie cutter generic type of, mass build, thousands of homes all look the same, and, you don't know which driveway to pull into because they all look the same. So some great boulevards and some great history. Freeport has a lot of history and a lot of information. So we'll talk about some of that history in another message. But again, I rambled off, back to the discussion of, if you have other suggestions or other things you'd like to hear us talk about, you can comment below. Be sure to subscribe as you have other questions and ideas. We look forward to helping you, and have a great day. Thank you so much for your time.